There is a name that heaven does not sing, a name that does not echo in worship, a name that even Michael, the warrior who faced the dragon, refuses to speak aloud, not because it is cursed, not because it is evil, but because some truths in heaven are too dangerous to remember. And this story is about the angel God placed outside the boundaries of creation, an angel who stands alone, facing a doorway no one else dares approach. A doorway that was sealed before time itself took its first breath. Every angel knows the portal exists, but they walk past it quickly with their eyes lowered, as if afraid that even looking at it might change them forever. Only one angel remains, unmoving, unblinking, unbroken, a sentinel whose existence is so heavy, so unimaginable, that heaven itself feels quieter where he stands. His name is AKER, the angel who guards the last portal, the gate no one crosses, the threshold even Michael avoids. And here is the question that will disturb you long after this video ends. If God placed his strongest, most silent, most obedient angel at that door, what is behind it that he never wanted heaven to see? Before you hear his story, ask yourself, why would a perfect God create an angel who cannot leave his post, who cannot rest, who cannot fall, but cannot rise either? What kind of burden breaks an angel without ever touching him? And why, after billions of years, is AKER still there, watching, waiting for something heaven prays never arrives? Welcome to Bible Mysteries. If you love exploring the hidden mysteries of Scripture, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss an episode from Bible Mysteries. Most stories about heaven begin with light, with choirs, with glory so bright it feels almost impossible to describe. But not this one. This one begins with fear, not the human kind, not trembling hands or racing heartbeats, but a fear so deep that even angels refuse to talk about it. Because long before wars, before fallen angels, before Lucifer ever whispered rebellion, there was something in creation that frightened heaven itself, and no one talks about it. Not because they don't remember, but because they choose not to. If you ask Michael about it, the warrior who faced the serpent, the general who commands hosts of fire, he would simply look away and say, "Some doors were never meant to be opened." And he would walk off, quickly, almost too quickly for a being who fears nothing else. But deep inside heaven, past the rivers of living fire, past the courts of praise, past the gates that shine like bound lightning, there is a region the angels avoid, not because it is dark, not because it is cursed, but because it feels older than heaven itself. A region where the air changes, where creation thins, where reality feels fragile. And in that region stands a portal that does not glow, does not hum, does not speak. It waits, a doorway to a place so ancient that even the firstborn angels don't know its name. And in front of that portal, unmoving, unblinking, unchallenged for all eternity, stands one angel. An angel who is not part of the songs, not part of the armies, not part of the councils, not part of anything except the one command that defines his entire existence, AKER. The angel who doesn't walk, only watches. Most angels travel, explore, assist, witness. They move like wind, sing like thunder, and burn like stars. But AKER does none of that. He stands, always, without shifting, without resting, without questioning, at least outwardly. And here is what unsettles the angels most. AKER does not look like he belongs in heaven. His presence is heavier, older, denser, like he's made of something that does not exist anywhere else. He does not glow like the others. He doesn't radiate warmth. He doesn't shine with the joy of creation. He looks like he came from a place where joy never existed. When the other angels pass the portal, they look forward, their steps quick, their wings tucked tightly to their sides. But when they pass AKER, their eyes drop, not out of disrespect, but because looking at him feels like looking at a truth you were never supposed to understand. This is the part heaven tries to forget. When AKER was first placed at the portal, Michael approached him, not out of pride, not out of authority, but out of duty. Michael approaches everything. He is the one who inspects, the one who evaluates, the one who stands where others hesitate. But when he reached AKER, something happened that had never happened to the commander of heaven's armies. He stopped. Something in AKER's gaze, steady, ancient, unblinking, made Michael realize this angel does not answer to him. He does not answer to anyone, except one. Michael opened his mouth to speak, but nothing came out. Not because he lacked words, but because some instinct deep in his spirit warned him, you are standing in front of a boundary you were not designed to cross. And Michael, heaven's bravest warrior, stepped back. Not in fear of AKER, but in fear of what God made AKER to guard. The one angel that doesn't fit anywhere. Even among angels there are outcasts, not the rebellious, not the sinful, but the ones whose purpose is too heavy to be understood. AKER was never celebrated, never welcomed, never embraced. Some angels wondered if he even felt emotions, or if he was crafted without them to bear a task no ordinary angel could endure. Because imagine this, every angel knows joy, every angel knows movement, every angel knows connection. AKER knows none of these. He only knows the portal, its presence, its weight, its unending threat. And heaven knows one thing. God does not place his strongest angel in front of an empty doorway. There is something behind that portal, something ancient, something powerful, something dangerous enough that even heaven fears remembering it. And AKER, the angel who never moves, has never taken his eyes off it. Not once. Not in all of eternity. Nobody remembers the moment AKER was created, not because it was hidden, but because it didn't look like anything heaven had ever seen before. When God creates angels, heaven usually feels it. Light shifts, winds gather, the atmosphere trembles with a kind of joyful electricity. The angels pause whatever they are doing because they know a new member of their family has arrived. But the day AKER appeared, there was no celebration, no chorus, no tremor of excitement, nothing familiar. Instead, something else happened, something that made the oldest angels stop what they were doing and look toward the farthest edge of creation with an uneasiness they had no words for. It was like a shadow formed inside the light. Not darkness. Darkness has a feeling, a presence. This was different. Like God folded a part of himself that no one had ever seen and then unfolded it into the shape of an angel. AKER. He did not descend like a star. He did not rise like a sunrise. He simply was, standing where no angel had stood before. And every angel who saw him felt the same strange thing. He isn't like us. Not better, not worse, just different. Designed differently. Carrying something the others did not carry. Some angels tried approaching him, but the closer they got, the more their steps slowed, as if AKER's very existence forced them to reevaluate their courage. He didn't speak, didn't introduce himself, didn't move. He just watched them with those eyes. Eyes that felt older than the rest of creation. Gabriel, who can read the tone of heaven like an instrument, said nothing afterward. He simply walked away with his wings lowered, as though he had just realized there were parts of God he would never fully understand. Even the young angels whispered among themselves, if he was made by the same God who made us, why does he feel like something else? Of course, that whisper never left heaven. Some truths die in the throat before they become sin. But the question remained, buried in silence. Why did God create an angel who didn't fit anywhere? AKER tried, if try was even the right word. He stood near the places angels gathered. He watched creation unfold. He observed the rivers of fire, the gardens that breathe life, the storm chariots that roam the upper realms. But no matter where he stood, the angels stepped around him. Not with disgust, not with hatred, but with that same strange discomfort you feel when you stand too close to something you don't understand. AKER felt it, even if he didn't show it. Imagine existing among beings created for worship, joy, and purpose, and realizing none of their songs have a place for your name. Heaven is full of beauty, infinite beauty. But for AKER, heaven became a place made of glass, a place you can see but never fully touch. And the hardest part? He never complained, never questioned, never asked God, "Why did you make me like this?" Because deep inside AKER, even before he knew his assignment, there was a feeling that his life was not like theirs. His existence was not meant to be understood by the angels around him. They were created to move. He was created to wait. They were born for communion. He was born for isolation. They were formed to witness creation. He was formed to stand before something older than creation, and then it happened. The moment that explained everything, and yet gave him no comfort. God called him, not through thunder, not through wind, not through burning light. Just a simple, undeniable truth that filled AKER's spirit. Your place is not with them. Your place is with the portal. And in that moment, for the first and only time in his existence, AKER felt something like pain. Not physical pain, the other kind, the kind humans know well. The kind that comes from realizing your purpose will take you away from everyone else. AKER turned toward the edge of creation, toward the place heaven avoids, and he walked. Not slowly, not reluctantly, just inevitably. Every step confirmed what he already sensed. He was not created to belong. He was created to stand where no one else could. And when he reached the portal for the first time, his entire existence locked into place. No angel heard it, but something inside AKER clicked. A spiritual weight settling, a divine puzzle piece snapping into its rightful position. This was his life. This was his eternity. This was why he looked different, why he felt different, why he never fit in. He wasn't built for heaven. He was built for the thing heaven doesn't talk about. And as he stood before the portal, he realized one final truth. He had never been alone. He had simply been waiting for the thing he was born to guard. AKER's first moment standing before the portal felt less like a beginning and more like stepping into a conversation that started before time itself. The portal did not glow. It did not pulse with power. It didn't give off warmth or cold. It simply stood, a boundary made of a reality that did not belong to creation. And AKER felt something the other angels never felt. The sense that the portal was not sleeping, it was watching back. He did not flinch. He did not step away. If anything, stepping before it made his existence feel finally justified. But heaven was not ready for what it looked like when the wrong angel found the right place. Word spread quickly among the hosts. AKER stands at the border. AKER has reached the silent threshold. AKER is not turning back. Some angels came just to see if it was true. They arrived in pairs or small groups, hovering far behind him, as if afraid to be close to the place where creation thins out. They never spoke. They never approached. They only watched AKER, a figure carved out of something heavier than light, who did not once look away from the portal. And eventually the one angel who could not ignore this any longer stepped forward. Michael. Michael's arrival shook the ground with honor. He walked with authority and with the certainty of one who has never known fear. The angels parted for him, relieved that someone strong enough was finally here to assess the situation. Michael approached slowly, every step echoing years of battles, victories, and divine assignments. He had faced the dragon. He had stood between God and rebellion. He had held the line when Lucifer rose in fury. He had never turned his face from a threat. But the moment he reached the threshold where AKER stood, something happened that shocked the hosts. Michael stopped. It wasn't physical hesitation. It wasn't caution. It was something deeper. Something in his spirit recoiled, as if stepping any closer would pull him toward a place where even his authority meant nothing. AKER didn't turn, didn't greet him, didn't acknowledge him, and that bothered Michael. Not because of ego. Michael didn't operate on pride, but because every angel in heaven responds to him. Every angel, even the ones created for strange tasks, but not AKER. Michael tried to speak, ready to deliver a warning or a command, but the moment he opened his mouth, a realization fell over him so heavily that his voice caught in his throat. AKER was not under his command, not under his authority, not under any hierarchy he had ever known. Michael sensed it immediately. a faint imprint on AKER's existence, as if God himself had marked him with a command that no other angel was allowed to question. And then Michael felt something worse, something he hated feeling. AKER wasn't guarding the portal, he was anchored to it, bound to it, designed for it. Michael, the greatest warrior in creation, the angel who stands between heaven and danger, took one quiet step backward. The host watching from a distance saw this tiny movement, a movement so small it should have meant nothing, and yet it rippled through heaven like a tremor of unspoken terror. If Michael stepped back from something, that thing was not just dangerous, it was catastrophic, and Michael knew it. He didn't leave. He stood there beside AKER in silence for a while, trying to sense whatever AKER sensed. He felt nothing. That made it worse. Michael, for the first time in his existence, was standing next to something he could not measure, could not categorize, could not prepare for. He finally spoke, his voice low, steady, but lacking the confidence heaven expected from him. AKER, what stands behind this? AKER didn't turn, didn't blink, didn't move. But he answered, and his voice was unlike any angelic tone. Deep, still, shaped by something that did not come from heaven, something older than the light we were born from. Michael stiffened. It was the closest thing angels had to flinching. Older than the light, older than creation. Only one being existed before light. But if God needed a guardian for something older than light, Michael's mind tightened around a truth he did not want to claim. What did God put behind this gate? AKER's response was simple, and yet it froze Michael's spirit. Not what, who? Michael didn't ask again. He couldn't. There are questions angels are not built to survive. The hosts watching felt it, a shift in the air, a panic that no one spoke aloud. They didn't fear the portal anymore. They feared AKER's calmness in front of it, because if an angel who felt nothing, moved for nothing, and lived for nothing except guarding this boundary stood here without trembling, then whatever was behind that portal was not something heaven could ever face. Michael left quietly, not defeated, not ashamed, but disturbed. He didn't tell the others what he heard. He didn't report anything to the councils. He didn't even pray about it, because Michael knew one thing. God doesn't put his strangest, strongest, most isolated angel before a mystery unless heaven isn't supposed to survive the truth. And from that day, nobody asked AKER anything again. They simply pretended the portal wasn't there. But AKER knew better. Things that ancient do not stay silent forever. Let me warn you before we begin this chapter, this is where the story stops being mysterious and becomes dangerous. Because this is the moment heaven itself was shaken. You've heard of battles in Scripture. You've heard of angels rising, falling, fighting, worshiping. But you've probably never imagined this. A moment when every angel in heaven froze, not because of rebellion, not because of sin, not because of fear of God, but because something arrived that shouldn't exist. Something ancient, something older than the languages of heaven, something that carried the scent of a world heaven had buried so deeply that even the angels weren't supposed to remember it. And on that day, AKER stood alone, because no one, not even Michael, stepped forward, not even a little. And here's how it happened. Picture heaven in its perfect order, choirs singing, wings rushing like rivers, angels carrying out assignments with purpose and clarity. Nothing is ever out of place until suddenly everything slows. Not time itself, no. Heaven doesn't work like that. But the angels feel something, a shift, a spiritual pressure that rolls across eternity like a distant storm no one wants to see coming closer. A ripple that makes the mighty hesitate, that makes the wise stop speaking, that makes the brave turn their heads instead of moving forward. Something unseen, unfelt, unheard, but definitely there. The first to react is Raphael. He straightens, hand on his chest, brows furrowed. The second is Uriel. His light flickers, just once, as if disturbed by a presence that doesn't belong. The third is Michael. And when Michael stops mid-stride, every lesser angel panics inside, because Michael does not freeze, not in war, not in peace, not in uncertainty. But here, Michael's eyes sharpen and he turns slowly, like he's trying to remember something he once knew but was never supposed to revisit. He doesn't draw his sword, he doesn't speak, he just waits. That's when you know something serious is happening. Then the air seems to lift, like heaven itself is inhaling, and a voice ancient and broken like dry earth cracking under pressure echoes from beyond the far gates of paradise. Return what you stole. Every angel lifts their head. They don't understand the words, yet somehow they do. It's not the language of heaven, not of earth, not of any realm that should still exist. Even Gabriel, messenger of God, leans forward, unsure whether to run or kneel. And Michael lowers his gaze, not out of fear, not out of shame, but out of respect. No one knows what to do. Not one angel moves, not one breathes, not one wing shifts, except one. AKER. He steps forward the moment the voice finishes echoing, as if he's been waiting for that sound his entire existence. His walk is steady, his expression is unreadable, his wings flicker with dim, damaged light, like an old flame remembering it used to be a wildfire. AKER is the only one who understands what stands outside the gate, and that's when the angels realize something terrifying. AKER wasn't guarding the last portal because he was strange, or unwanted, or misplaced. He was guarding it because no one else could survive what was on the other side. And now, that something had come looking for him. AKER reaches the threshold of heaven, not the pearly gates you see in paintings, but a deeper place, a place only sentinels stand. The air around him crackles, the portal pulses behind him, and from beyond the horizon, the ancient presence pushes forward. Every angel leans in, every angel watches, every angel waits for Michael to take charge. But Michael remains still, and that's when a chilling thought hits the viewers, and maybe even you. What kind of being makes Michael freeze? And why is AKER the only one allowed to face it? Because the truth is about to unfold, and it's about to rewrite everything the angels thought they knew about their own history. The moment had arrived, the moment that AKER had been waiting for since he was first created, since the day God had placed him before the portal, since the moment he had realized he was born different, not for joy, not for movement, not for celebration, but for this, to stand alone against something heaven dared not face. The air around the portal thickened, vibrating with a presence older than creation itself. Not malicious, not evil, just absolute. An authority that even God's armies would hesitate to confront. AKER's wings spread slowly, the white feathers catching a pale, impossible light, and he stepped forward. His gaze locked on the threshold, unwavering, unflinching. No fear, no hesitation, just purpose. Michael appeared behind him, silent, not to intervene, not to command, but to witness. Even the strongest archangel understood this was beyond him, beyond every angel, beyond every law, every rule, every order heaven had ever known. AKER spoke then, his voice resonating like both thunder and echo in the chambers of eternity. I have waited for this. I was born for this. I am here because no one else can stand where I stand. From the portal, a shadow emerged, not a creature, not a person, not a being in any shape heaven recognized, but something ancient, something alive in ways that defied all understanding. Its presence pressed against reality like water against stone, reshaping the air itself. Angels trembled, but AKER did not. Michael's hands twitched, ready to act, but he did not. He had learned this was not a battle to be won with weapons or armies or strength. This was a trial of endurance, of spirit, and of obedience. AKER stepped closer. Every step carried the weight of eons. The portal pulsed in response. The being beyond it shifted, a ripple in existence, as if acknowledging its guardian. And then came the revelation. AKER was not only guarding a gate, he was guarding a truth heaven could not bear to know. A secret older than angels, older than the light, older than the war in heaven. The being behind the portal whispered, not in words but in thoughts. Images, feelings, knowledge, heavy and dangerous, poured into AKER's mind. It spoke of times before time, of worlds that existed and fell before creation, of angels and beings who had tried to step beyond their bounds and failed, of God's own design and why some forces had to remain isolated. AKER absorbed it all. Not once did he flinch. Not once did he turn away. His purpose crystallized. He understood fully why he had been made different, why he could never join the choirs, why he could never feel belonging in heaven, why Michael had feared him, because he was the sentinel of the ultimate truth. And here is the part that breaks every angel's heart. AKER could never leave. He could never share this knowledge. Even God had given him the burden of bearing it alone. The being receded, the portal quieted. AKER returned to his eternal post. Everything appeared calm again, but nothing was the same. Michael watched him, silent and solemn. No words could honor the weight AKER carried. The other angels looked from afar, whispers dying on their lips, knowing some things could never be spoken aloud. AKER stood there, unshaken, unwavering, eternal. Not for glory, not for love, not for recognition, only for the duty that made him unlike any other. And as eternity stretched before him, AKER remained, the guardian of a gate heaven cannot face, the sentinel of a secret heaven cannot understand, the angel who will stand alone until the end of time. And here's the question that lingers long after the story ends. If even heaven fears what lies beyond this portal, what would you do if you were forced to face the truths no one else can bear? What burden could you carry that no one else could understand? Think about that. Because AKER's story isn't just a tale of angels. It's a mirror of every choice, every secret, every weight we carry in our lives that we cannot share. And that's why he will remain silent, eternal, unbroken.